Hi, everybody. Welcome to We Are Fear. We hope you're doing well. This is Rita, your co host. I'm joined with.
Lamb.
It's been so great having you guys listen to our previous episodes. I hope you've listened to the last one on red flags. Thank you guys for sharing all your red flags on Instagram. That was really fun just getting to hear some of your comments, and we hope that you'll continue with the engagement. So I'm going to pass it over to Leah to take us through our episode for today.
Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for your support. We really, really appreciate and for your engagement on our Insta channel. We really, really appreciate the engagement, the comments, they are fun. And also just getting to know what you're thinking about our topics really encourages us to know that we're actually having people out there who are actually listening to us and you're not just talking to ourselves. Yeah, so we really, really appreciate that. So today's topic is a bit, I wouldn't say like sensitive. I'd say mostly currently right now we are in an economic downfall, if I must say so.
Yeah.
We are all struggling to kind of just understand what's happening in our economy, what's happening worldwide, because this is not just happening to Kenya, it's happening also in other countries. And you might be feeling some type of way, you might be feeling stuck, you might be feeling like you don't know what to do, or you're just overwhelmed, maybe not even with these economic things, but the other things that are making you feel stuck, making you feel unmotivated, or not inspired with life, and you're not hopeful and you're not looking forward. So we are here to talk about our experiences when we have felt like we are in a rut, and what are some of the things that we think would help you
Yeah.
to deal with how you're feeling now, and hopefully you can be more hopeful, looking forward to better times despite what everything is shouting right now. Everything
Yeah.
is shouting high prices, everything is shouting elections, everything is shouting, people are being laid off work and stuff like that. And so there are a lot of things that might not be seeming hopeful as of now, but how can we keep ourselves hopeful even during these hard times? And it's not just economic, let me just iterate that, but it can also be relationships, or it can be something that you're just feeling up, you're just feeling like you're just feeling that way and you don't even understand why. So, yeah, so you're here to hopefully inspire you by the end of this podcast. So, welcome. Let's jump into it. Um, Let me ask, what do you feel, how define stuck for you? What is being stuck for you? Because I feel like it might be relative, depending on situations. Yeah.
Um, for me, feeling stuck is most I attribute it to being unmotivated. Like when I don't feel motivated to do something, or when there's a roadblock to doing something or achieving something. So let's say I need to complete something, but there's a stage I can't move past because somebody else needs to do something for me to move past. Or I really lack motivation, inspiration. Like it's not something I want to do. I need to do it, but it's not something I want to do. And then for things I want to do, I don't feel like I have capacity to do it or strength to do it. I really want to, but I'm not able to. I think that for me is being stuck, and I've been feeling stuck. I can't even explain it, but that for me is being stuck, lacking the motivation, the drive. Like you had it, but then at some point it just stalls, and then trying to find a way around it is also proving difficult. The mechanisms you are using are not working. So I think that for me is being stuck, like just lacking motivation to move past like where I am right now.
Yeah, I think I can relate to that. I think also for me, feeling stuck means demotivated. Also, for me, it feels confusion. Also, it feels like weakness.
Yeah.
in a way. And also I think, and it's usually mostly mentally, like it's not usually something my body can respond to it, but until I recognize it in my head, I would still feel very stuck. So it's something I feel like it's like a battle in my head of, I can't do this, I can't. I'm just, you're just feeling. Even sometimes it also manifests itself physically. You're feeling sick. You don't have energy. Even things that essentially excite you don't excite you anymore. So for me it's usually a mix of different things, and also anxiety. For me, I get a lot of anxiety when I don't feel, actually one of the ways I know that I'm like in a rut or like I'm stuck is when I have a lot of anxiety. So when I have a lot of anxiety, it's a sign that something is up. Yeah. So what are the ways that you identify when you're in a stuck? Because not every time you're stuck, you actually sometimes recognize you're feeling stuck. Sometimes it's a process until you get there. But what are like the ways that you have used initially to kind of identify you're stuck or you're in a rut?
I think the first one is procrastinating a certain thing. Like, for example, if there's a point in a course that is just stressing me out, I procrastinate finishing it or moving past that. So at that point, when I procrastinate the first time, the second time I'm like, now I'm stuck. Because I can do it. I've done the same thing in the other, like before you get to that module, you went through another phase before you got in. So for me, the first one is procrastination, when I realize I'm procrastinating a lot. And then also anxiety. Like when I just can't place my energy in one place, I feel scattered. That's another way. So if anytime I want to do that specific thing and then I just feel like I am everywhere, I know it's stressing me out and I know I'm really stuck there. And then when I can't concentrate on it, like on that certain thing, there's times when I have a certain task and I'm thinking of a million other tasks. But it's not because I have so many things to do. It's because this one thing is proving to be like a hindrance. So that's another way. I've mentioned anxiety. So anxiety, procrastinating, scattered energy. Which other way when I feel stuck? When I'm also lazying. Yeah, because I find that I will put it off of my mind. It's on my to-do list, but I put it out of my mind and do something else, more of quote-unquote entertainment rather than do it. So yeah, I think just those.
Let me ask, the point where you said like that task is like a hindrance. Is it like a hindrance that you have like set in your mind, like you view it as a hindrance to in terms of that task? Because essentially, it's how you're viewing that task is not essentially like the task is refusing you to do it.
It's not like a big. It's not like a big thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. It's like you can't bring your energy to do it at that time.
Yeah.
So you're like, and if you can't bring your energy to do it, then you move it to do it at another time, which is okay. But then when you find that you're continually moving it, it's more a problem of what's happening with you than what's wrong with the task. Because there's nothing that you cannot do if you've already set your mind to do it. So it brings you back to, okay, maybe you're not in a good mental or headspace to actually do it. Maybe there's actually a deeper issue that's making you not concentrate on what you had told yourself you'd do.
Yeah. I think for me, how I identify I feel stuck is I'm also usually very scattered. I feel like I have 1 million things to do and I won't do anything.
Yeah.
I'll actually take up tasks that are more immediate than tasks that I had put like on a planner or a to-do list. So if something comes up now, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do that one than what I'd planned.
Yeah.
Because now that is immediate, something I can just act on, and I feel like it's there and it's then. So most of the things that maybe I'd have planned for that day or something most probably won't get done. Anxiety, and for me, it's anxiety that also makes me not sleep well. most times it would be something that would make me, I won't realize it, but I might even like be sleeping but be thinking in a way. So I'm actually thinking about it. I'm already, and then all of a sudden I just wake up and I just feel like, oh my god, this thing is just going to come down on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really get bad anxiety sometimes. That really really affect my sleep, and also affect my mood, mostly in regards of if something about work that is making me feel stuck, it makes me just be a bit like just a bit like I just separate myself a bit from work stuff. And then what else when I'm feeling stuck, I also think procrastinating, or actually just doing things that I just want to do and not doing things that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
And I'll find a reason of why I don't want to do it. Making excuses of why this cannot be done. Yeah, and also just taking my sweet time with it, because also I feel also you can feel stuck when there's change happening, and this change is a bit it's a bit uncomfortable, so you don't want to do it, or you have maybe you want to start something, but since it feels you're feeling afraid, you kind of just slow it down. And I do that a lot with activities that I want to do, something new that I want to pursue, and I'm not sure and I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable. Sometimes I just slow it down. Today I do one thing, then wait like 2 days, do something else. Yeah, that's when I realize. And also I feel tired, very tired. Like I just feel like, okay.
Yeah.
I just need more energy, or I get more, like I get obsessive. Like last week, I think I was feeling stuck, and I went to the gym like I think 6-7 times. I just feel like I just need to work, and I just need to be in the gym. I need just to work out. So I just felt like I had too much energy of some sort. I just needed to be in a place where my body is just busy. And I think it was maybe a way to just distract myself from what I think was making me feel stuck. Yeah.
That makes sense.
What are some of the things that like make you feel stuck? Like whether it's work, I don't know how I'd put it, like things that mostly makes you feel stuck, or situations that would make you feel like you're stuck most times. Like when you sit down and evaluate, you're like, it's usually this and this and this and this, or when I'm in this situation, I might be feeling some type of way.
Let's see. I think the first one would obviously be work. And that's if maybe there's something that I need to be, like something that needs to be done is under me to ensure it's done, but it's not me who is actually doing it. So that kind of situation where you need to, I think mostly stakeholder management, let me just put it broadly. When you're not the one doing it, but you have other stakeholders who collectively help you finish up on a task. That's usually a very stressful, like the whole of it is a stressful endeavor, because you can only push up to a certain point, and then the rest is up to the other team members to complete. And then once it's done is when now you can come in and present whatever it is that you guys were working on. So I think that for me is like one of the biggest, because it's not something you can control end to end. If it's just yours, you will stress yourself if you haven't done it, but that's just you, and then you'll find a way to figure it out. But if it includes other stakeholders, that becomes a problem. And then the other one, I think, would be with personal stuff, like personal growth stuff. So like studying, sometimes that can be very stressful, and sometimes it's easy to get stuck because of the, I don't want to say time commitment, because you can make time for anything, but I think time commitment of it, especially if you have a full-time job and you have something else on the side, it's really hectic to try and balance. So I think that for me can really cause me stress and then make me feel really stuck, because you are at a certain point before you move to the next point of that
Yeah.
course or that program or whatever. It takes time. Sometimes you defer and then you go back, and then you're using money. It's not as if you're getting, okay, not all of them are for free, but there's some that you're paying for. So it really makes you feel agitated that you're not able to do it. But it's really, sometimes it's out of your control that you're stuck,
Yeah.
but sometimes
Yeah.
it isn't. So I think that's one of the other areas. Then where else do I feel stuck? I think even in relationships, feeling stuck in relationships, and this is in the context of having communicated something, and then even if you communicate it 1 to 4 times, you still get the same result out of the same situation that you had communicated about. So that's also a point of being stuck, where you feel like there's no progress on how something was handled that you had previously talked about, broken down into bits, and then aligned on how best to move forward on that situation. And then you find the same thing happens again, and this same cycle without any thought on what you guys had discussed. So I feel that can also cause like a rut, because you can't move
Yeah,
forward
yeah.
if that bit is not moving forward. So I think that's also another area. Is there another one? I think relationship also covers family. Like being stuck with family and not being able to move. But I think mostly for family is in the case of where you're not able to communicate, because you're not
Yeah.
sure how,
It
you know,
will be
the way we
received.
have grown up in this African setup is very hectic. So because you're not sure about how things would be received, you tend to leave them stuck at a certain point.
Yeah.
Because
Like they'll figure themselves out.
yeah, like it's never that serious or something
But
like
then
that.
it creates an awkward situation, because when you
Yeah.
go and there's this unsolved things, is that hi, but we all know there's this.
Yeah, like everybody
And-
knows there's
and-
something,
yeah,
but
yeah.
nobody is bringing out like the elephant in the room. So I feel for family mostly it's very hectic and very uncomfortable to bring it up, like where things were left at. But that's the biggest, I think, stuck point area for, not for me, but I think for most people, where you are not able to communicate with your family effectively on how they hurt you or how
Yeah.
you perceived a certain thing that was done, and you want to move forward but you can't, because you already have history
Yeah.
of how things were received when you brought something up. So I think that's also another area for me that screams stuck, and it's stuck there.
Yeah.
We will see if we will continue, but at the moment,
Yeah.
let it just chill.
For me, I'll start with work, and because that has been, I think, the beginning of this year, I had a bit of anxiety because of work, and then lately a bit. I think it's when the shift of industries, and also kind of like trying to figure out this big mountain. 'Cause I feel like somehow like where I work is like this big thing that I need to
Yeah.
figure out, and there are a lot of dynamics that I'm not privy to, so it's hard, and then I'm not like in constant touch with my colleagues or team, so it gives me a lot of anxiety because I don't know where do I need to come in. Is it here? And I know I can ask that, but sometimes the process takes a bit longer, or things take a bit, and for me, when I feel like things are not moving, makes me feel so anxious. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
so am I supposed to have done something? Am I not supposed to have done something? So that has been a point of feeling stuck, and when work feels stuck, somehow it kind of affects also some aspect, because I'm supposed to be working like 8 hours in a day. So if I'm feeling stuck with my work, I need to deal with that anxiety, kind of like cascade down to other things that I need to be doing.
Yeah.
Makes me just feel some type of way about everything. So work has been, for me this year, has been a major area of where I've been feeling stuck. But also, I think we discuss this as we go forward, is just understanding also I'm new,
Yeah.
so there's nothing much I can do.
Like you're
I'm
literally new to
only
the company, to the
to
industry.
the industry.
So it's valid.
I can only do as much, but I feel like I need to be doing more, because I like working. If I commit to something, I want to see myself doing it and progressing it. So when I'm not doing that and I don't know what I'm even supposed to be doing,
Yeah, that's a problem.
that's what makes me feel a bit unstable. So that. I think the other thing would be when I feel like things that I'm working on are stagnant. Like I've done businesses, I've worked with very young startups. I'm currently running a business. We have the podcast and stuff like that. So I think for me, when things become a bit stagnant and I'm not seeing movement, would make me feel, what's happening? Why are we not? Even when I'm reading a book, I get so much anxiety about reading. What is it? Yeah, like when I've not read a book for some time and I'm feeling like I'm stagnant, it just makes me feel yeah, I kind of like progress, even if like I read 2 pages in a day.
Yeah.
So when I feel like things are not like moving, maybe are moving at a slower rate, or things are just there, gets me a bit worried. Makes me feel like, yeah, not very good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would say I feel like I'm stuck in a rut because when I'm overthinking, because I'm overthinking about a certain situation that I'm not supposed to be overthinking about.
Yeah.
But since I've already made it to the mountain, you feel like you're stuck. But essentially, when it comes down to reality, what you need to deal with is very little. But what I've built up in my head is the whole kingdom. Yeah. So now I have to deal with the king and the queen of that kingdom in my head. I think for me also, something I like, but sometimes it can take a toll, is when I'm going through change. As the first one, as you can see, change in work, change in industries, change, for example, if I go for like a sleepover somewhere, I don't usually sleep the first night. My body, like, I'm usually very awake. Like, I struggle to sleep. I really, really struggle. I keep turning and turning and turning. My body doesn't, like, I don't just adopt. Like, I can't just go and black out somewhere. No, like, it takes me time before I get my body there. Or, for example, somebody comes and says, oh, we were to go somewhere, let's change it. And those things make me feel, okay, this is what I had planned for my day. Then you came and changed up everything. So even adopting to that, at that point, I might feel very confused. Very confused. I kind of know what I need to do. Yes, I need to respond, how I need to respond. I feel like I take the next action, I might feel a bit confused because I'm a planner. I think maybe that's why I'm in project management. I'm a planner. And I know in terms of projects, things don't always go the right way. But for example, somehow it's usually like, oh, why did it not? So also during major changes in life, or even when maybe I'm about to maybe like be in a relationship, those like instances I know there'll be a bit of change in terms of how essentially I need to be thinking about now my day. I know I have to include someone else in it, and stuff like that could give you a bit of anxiety. So mostly that. In terms of like family, me for all my family, I don't know if I feel like I'm stuck in a rut. I think it's just a stress point sometimes. I don't feel like I'm stuck, like I can't do anything, or I'm unmotivated. Maybe the situations that are there would make me a bit unmotivated to kind of have as many interactions, but I wouldn't say like it's a point where I feel like I'm really, really stuck, I'm not inspired or stuff like that. I also think some other thing that sometimes make me feel very overwhelmed or feeling very uninspired, as you've said, is like when you're studying and you're working, and because of late it has been work. I have like 2 schools to attend. Then I have the podcast and I have the business. So I have all these things that I need to take care of, and then I also want to work out, and I have like a whole schedule, and from morning to evening it's covered. And sometimes it just becomes routine that you kind of forget why you're also doing all these things, you know. And sometimes your body can just be like, you know what, take time out, chill kwanza. And those are times that I felt like last week and this week. I know I've been doing things. I've been studying. Yes, I've gone for my meetings. Yes, but I can feel I'm just not. I'm not 100. I'm not 100. I'm not fitting. The whole of this week, I've gone to the gym like twice. I'm just not, like, I'm not feeling like I'm myself fully. Because I feel like a bit overwhelmed and just have like so much. But essentially, yeah. So I think that those are areas that I felt a bit stuck. So let's say, how do you get out of your rut? How do you stop feeling stuck? Because essentially, at the end of the day, one way or another, you need to kind of still get up. You still need to feel motivated. You need to be hopeful about life. You need to be inspired. So even if you don't want to overlook that work and push that someone, how do you get yourself to that point?
I think the first one for me, or the one I usually just try to do, is stick to the routine. So if I wake up, I go to the gym, I come back from the gym, I shower. After I shower, I read my book. Then I look at my laptop and open that course and then look at it. One way or another, I will do, even if it's just one video or one page of reading.
Yeah.
But I try to just go through my routine, like put everything aside and just do what I normally do, even if I don't like necessarily feel like it. If I'm really out of sorts, so during the week I can do that. Over the weekend, if I'm really out of sorts, I just try, because I know when you like drink 2 cups of water or 2 glasses of water and then you read something inspiration, it doesn't have to be a book. It can be something comedic, like just something that gets you to like be like just be happy, not serious or confined, just letting your brain breathe. So watching something that's funny, so that can be Friends or Big Bang, just anything that removes tension from your body. And then I also try to do stretches on my bed. So like just like basic stretches, stretching your arms, trying to breathe in, like doing some breath work. And then I also I journal a lot. Like when I'm not feeling it, when I'm stressed about something, I just write it and I'm like, okay, I'm stressed, or I feel like I can't move past this. And then I try to list down why I feel like this is a place I'm stuck at. Usually I have no reason. So when I have no reason, I'm like, Rita, you're just being a big baby. But when I have reasons, I write them down. If I have no reason, I try to talk myself out of being stuck into doing what I actually want to do. And then I find that it's important to remember why you're doing whatever you're doing. Because when I'm really stressed about work, I try to remember all those guys who are looking for opportunities, who we are creating applications for. It's easy to forget why you're doing it when you're just seeing the numbers and you're just concentrating on reporting those things. But then when you go and see all these guys making videos of the application, making videos of the value of the program, it kind of tugs on your heart and you're like, okay, maybe I'm doing something important. Maybe I'm touching somebody's life. So even if I'm feeling stuck because of 7, 8 people who are just hindering me from completing something, it's still okay. You can still come off of it and still complete it. So I feel like remembering why and trying to write it down, like, I'm doing this because of this. I'm studying for this course so I can be good at this. I find it really helps me get back if I don't remember the why, it's usually very difficult because it means I won't do it. Like if I won't find a valid reason as to why I'm doing something, I won't do it. I'll just be like, okay, that's a wrap. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Then another way, I think I talk about it. Like when I'm stressed about something, I'll keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it until it gets out of my system.
Yeah.
And then after that, after that is when I'll be able to like go back and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, get how I get out of that is I start by appreciating the small steps that I take. Like if I read 2 extra pages today than I did yesterday. If I do more exercises than I did yesterday, or I show up to the gym and do more exercises than what I'd normally do. So I kind of like create like a gratitude thing. So I start appreciating the small things and the improvements that I'm making every day. So that's one of the ways. I think the other way that maybe is also attached to that is also writing it down. So when last week I was not feeling it, I kind of just sat down and wrote a letter to myself. And I kind of just broke down what was happening, why am I feeling that way, all these things. And I just found out it's just having so much expectation of yourself. Actually, today read something called bullying. Stop bullying yourself. So you're constantly bullying yourself, constantly, how bullies are like, you can't even, you can't even, I usually feel like bullies just catch you by the collar and just lift you up. And they speak to you like this. So I feel like we do that to ourselves a lot.
Yeah.
Where we are constantly bullying ourselves. And so when I sat down, I just thought, this is just me giving myself a lot of pressure. So I told myself I just need to release it. And deal with it like a step at a time. And you're making good progress. And I wrote that like, you're making good progress, you've done this. Your boss said you're making good progress in this and stuff like that. So why do you feel like you need to be the king now of this kingdom that you're building?
Yeah.
So just release the expectations that you have of yourselves, the huge expectation that you have of yourself, and yet you're still making surmountable progress, and recognize that and appreciate yourself for that. Something I used to do, and I think I've forgotten to be doing it, like early this year I used to, like, if I at the end of every month I used to buy myself like a chocolate or something to reward myself for the month. But nowadays, man, I don't even remember.
Economy.
Yeah, I don't even remember, not even just the economy, but I don't even remember that I need to appreciate and pat myself in the back for the work that I've been putting in. So I think getting something to reward yourself would really help. Like, it can be, I don't know, something small, maybe cook yourself a good meal, or take yourself out, or buy yourself something, but let it be that the intention is appreciating yourself. It's not for because you thought you needed more shoes. Let it be like an intentional gift to yourself because of achieving certain things that you are looking forward to. I think, what else do I do? I think also just taking a break. Sometimes I just take a break. I just be like, okay, you know what? That meeting, I'm not coming next week. Maybe with work it may be difficult because work you don't have so much flexibility. But like in terms of like if it's in the weekend, if you get an off, just be like, you know what, I'm taking time out. I'm not going to look at my laptop or whatever. I'm just going to sit here, just do something that makes me feel good, or just sleep, or just lie on the couch and just put whatever you want to watch. Yeah, so I think it's good to just take time out and kind of just bring yourself back together, and also sometimes you usually feel stuck because you have not also been taking care of ourselves. You have not been keen on what we are eating. You're not been keen on your health. You've not been keen, with a lot of things. So your mind just feels so clogged because you've not taken time out to take care of yourself, which is very, very important. I think the other thing, I also talk about it, and I also think talking about it helps to reduce the kind of, to reduce what you're also telling yourself in your mind. Maybe you can be having so much work and your friends want you to kind of go somewhere or stuff like that, but when you don't communicate that, you'll feel like, oh no, my friends will not like me, and maybe that's not how they'll receive you when you say no. But when you're like, oh, I'm going through a hard time, so this is how I'd like you to support me. And I think communicating how you want to be supported is very important. And it's just letting the other person know that maybe you're not in the headspace for maybe a conversation, or maybe to be there for them if they're in a situation that they need you, so that you don't feel overwhelmed, or you don't feel like you're failing something now that adds up to your stuckness. There's a word like that. So just communicate it. So for me, I also talk about it, and I talk about it also a lot, so that it just gets on my system. And also sometimes when you talk about it, you start saying, I
think talking about it gives you clarity, because even in your head you're like, okay, when I say it out loud,
the pieces start adding up. And that really helps. And I also think what you've said, remembering why you're doing it, because we take a lot of courses, short courses. I mean, school where I'm where I have to attend classes, or I need to do schoolwork, but I also take short courses, so that I just add in my skills. And most times when I do these courses, it's usually because I've identified opportunities, and I think me having this skill will be a plus. And when that happens is when at the end of the day you really want to finish this course, because also just getting that certificate makes you feel really, really good. We have just actually recently finished Ford program by McKinsey Africa. And that is a very good, today I received my email of graduation day. And it felt really good, and it felt like I've achieved something, and it makes me look forward to all the other things that I'm working towards, and being like, oh, now you're graduating, or you're moving to the next level, or and
because it's been 6 months.
It has been 6 months, and you've been consistent,
and
you've done it, and now you've come to the end of it. And the fact that you put in effort shows that you have the capacity to put in effort. So also remembering those wins that you've had. For me, I usually plug in. If I did something back then, I'm just like, but I did that. So even this one, I can do it. So sometimes in pain, inabidi kujichocha. Sometimes you just need to affirm yourself. You need to be like, I can do this. You just need to be like, whatever it is, I have the capacity that it takes for me to do it, and just break it in maybe small steps that you can be able to take in a day at a time. So maybe if today you can't do the whole module, do 2 pages. Or do
watch
3.
just one video.
Just watch one video. Don't give yourself so much pressure when you start, because it just might make you feel very low than how you are. But you taking small steps that show progress can motivate you to even now do more going forward. So I'd say that. I thought you'd say doing outside activities, like hiking.
Oh, maybe it's because I'm not feeling well. I didn't mention. But I think that mostly works for me when I'm stressed. I need to go out into nature. I find it gives me peace and clarity. And usually I find that I have a decision that I'll make at the end of that thing. Even if I won't voice it, there's something I would have made up my mind on that has been, I think, stuck makes sense. If there's something I've been stuck on, I would have made up my mind after that. And I find for me it's easier when I do that than when I'm just thinking around it in
Like
at home, like just around the same environment. Like even being in the same environment for long makes me feel stuck.
oh yeah,
Like I feel like I constantly need to do like a
a
shuffle.
million things.
Yeah, like I feel like let me just be here there, then I
Yeah.
feel like okay, now Rita is okay. So I feel like changing environments also works for me when I'm feeling stuck.
Yeah, I think for me nowadays, I also feel like the same. But nowadays, like, I work from home, so I feel like maybe it doesn't have so much difference. I also feel like being at home working from home can be good, bad. Because when you're at work, you kind of like, even in terms of work, you have like other people to kind of talk it out with physically, and you're probably in the same dilemmas. And yes, you can have calls and stuff like that, but I feel like it doesn't replace
it's not the same.
It's not the same.
I actually wish
right?
we had hybrid.
Yeah, I also kind of wish we had hybrid.
Yeah, not full office work.
Yeah, like hybrid would really be good, because sometimes just being in that social setting also helps when you go to work and then someone just makes a stupid joke and you all laugh and kind of the mood kind of changes. But here at home you kind of just have to deal with it. I can't like put on you so much, and you can't like put on me so much, because you're only the two of us here. We can only make as many jokes as we can that we have even time for, because everyone is busy with their work. So, yeah, so we tried to put on like Friends of Big Bang to kind of make us have to go to occupy the space of the office that we would like. Yeah, so I think that's it from us. But I think for me, my takeaway, as I was reading that article on bullying yourself, I never thought about it, but we really we are our own bullies. Yeah, we are our own bullies, and I think that's something that we need to stop. We need to be more kinder, more loving, to ourselves. Ask yourself, would you say the things that you say to yourself to other people, and how, and how would they feel about it? Then that's how you usually feel every time you bully yourself. Yeah. So that's my...
I think for me, my 2 cents, and I agree that you need to learn to have a better conversation with yourself rather than bullying yourself. I think for me, the one thing I just leave out there is the positive attribute of having or of setting intentions. And I think I take it from Oprah on this book I'm reading, where she says intention saved her life. Because every time she gets into something, she always asks herself, what is my intention in doing this project? What is my intention in having that lunch with this person? So because of setting those intentions, if she finds that she doesn't have a good intention, or it's not an intention coming from a good place, she usually doesn't go ahead with it. And I was like, okay, wow, But then Dr. Perry also said the same thing about her. Like, if I asked Oprah to help me do something, and she always went back to if that's her intention, if that's something she wants to do. And if it's a no, she won't do it. So it's important to set those intentions, because when you're stuck, you remember your why and your intention behind what you're doing, and it can give you a push so that you're able to get out of that situation and do it, so that you can commit to your intention.
And just I know it's a hard time for a lot of young people.
Right now it's hard to get a job.
It's hard to get a job. It's it's just, I don't know, it's just a whole mixed of things. Kitambo society used to be very neat. Like, even if there's this person, but now everyone is like everyone for themselves. And you're just here to tell you that we are all in the same pot. we are all maybe in different situations, but also still going through the same kind of like emotions, and like trying to figure out everything. We were not there maybe we were there during the recession that happened in 2008, because this happened again in 2008, 2009. But now we are here and we're seeing how things are going, and also the opportunities in these seasons, and there are also things, negative outcomes from this season.
Yeah.
But we still need to keep the hope alive. We need to still be hopeful about better things happening, because the future can only be brighter.
Yeah.
The future can only be brighter. And so just hang on there. Just know you're not alone. You have the support of us,
The community.
The community, of 20-something people who are just trying to sort out life and just figure out, oh my God, what is all this about?
Yeah.
So you're not alone. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. See you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.